Hey folks, please enjoy this clip from our show, which you can find every single day at 4 p.m. Eastern exclusively on Rumble. We've been doing the best shows we've ever done, completely free of censorship and on a platform that actually supports us. You can also support us on Locals, where you can access a ton of exclusive content, movie riffs, as well as an archive of over 1,000 full episodes going back as far as 7 years. We've also teamed up with Merch Engine to bring you a new lineup of really awesome quality shirts, hoodies, and now even hats. So come check out our untethered, uncensored show on Rumble every single weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern. You stupid idiots. Speaking of gay sex traffickers, is that a good segue?
Yeah. So, not gay Jared, or you know what? That's his slave name, Jared Monroe.
Jared Monroe,
former producer and funniest part of
a guy who I want to make
Crowder.
it clear I have never had any contact with.
Enough.
All right, I don't know the guy, never heard of the guy. He's dead to me.
Mm-hmm. I've never spoken him either.
Yeah. Oh, also, I ordered a shredder on the company account.
Yeah, I know, I got it.
Okay, good.
I know, yeah. I
Yeah.
got that bleach bit app. Just wiping everything, just to be safe, you know. Well, let's see how good guy Crowder's doing.
Enough is enough.
It's time for
This
a
can't
change.
go on any longer, and as the famous saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So, here we go. I'm currently being legally abused and intimidated into silence by a former employer. This has been going on for a while now, and it simply cannot live in darkness for another day. But I am asking for your help to fight back. First, some context. In late October of 2023, to my surprise, I was served these papers. A cease and desist from my former employer. It threatened severe.
By the way, he's referring to Crowder.
Was this around the time all those news stories were coming out?
I think he mentions it. I think he mentions it. I don't remember.
Legal action in the form of a lawsuit demanded I cease communications with my friends. The scare tactics of cease and desist are generally to intimidate, isolate, and eventually devastate. Like most cease and desist, it also demanded that I swiftly provide them written certificate of my compliance. I did not. In the same delivery, I was also served these papers. A Rule 202 petition from my former employer. You can look that up on the internet. I know I had to. These documents were filed with the county court of my former place of employment, demanding that I be subject to an oral deposition under oath for an unlimited amount of time, where they were free to interrogate me on pretty much any private matter that they chose. Also, in this petition for discovery, they demanded that I turn over documents of all communications with more than a dozen of my friends, an unlimited amount of unnamed persons, in any form, and over an unlimited period of time.
That seems unreasonable, right?
I feel like this is when I saw this today, right? The first thing that crossed my mind was, first off, a lot of these NDAs are predatory and they're shitty, and we've talked about it before. They're fucking trash. Because the point of an NDA is to, in theory, is to protect trade secrets. You're a podcast. There's no trade secrets that are being protected here, okay? But it's one thing to say, you violated it, I don't want a court order for all your messages, but the other people on the other side of that message signed no such NDA. How can you violate somebody else's privacy, you know?
I also don't like the broad scope of this. Like, I feel like if you're going to go after somebody in court, you should go after them the same way. Like, it should be the same way when they like file a warrant, like a search warrant for your house. They can't just show up and go, yeah, we want everything in your house. Like, that's not allowed. Like, they need to have a narrow scope. They need to go, we think that you've been doing this. We want your phone. We want this phone. We want your computer, and we want to look at this. This is, and literally, you can't also go, we also want this search warrant to include unlimited, unnamed persons who we don't know what we even want yet. Like, that seems insane to me. Like, I feel like a judge should go, no, you need to be a little more specific about what you're looking for and what is it you're hoping to find. Otherwise, this is just a fucking fishing expedition.
But it is a fishing expedition because, as we brought up before with the potato video, with the Crowder Wants a Potato video, which we're going to start playing again now, is we know for a fact that who's his current the other dude with the glasses that's there now. The guy who basically is like the VP of the company.
Oh, yeah, that fucking, I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking
Anyway, whatever his fucking name is.
Gerald?
Is it Gerald?
It's Gerald. Yeah, Gerald.
Gerald.
Yeah.
I know for
The one who's not his dad or his lawyer. It's
Yeah.
the only other guy who talks to him.
I know for a fact that they were looking for the leak because of that fucking potato video.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. I was cracking up at that.
Yeah. I know that because they're panicking. But what are you panicking about? First off,
This makes me so happy I wore that shirt in front of his dad and his lawyer.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
By the way, fight like hell with your pregnant wife. Available at rotcstore.com. You
That's
should get one
correct.
of those shirts.
Yep.
I did not. Now, I did not for a few reasons. Number one, I have seen how this employer handles legal issues, and I knew that once I opened the door to legal abuse, it would never, ever be shut. This is how they operate. In fact, I'm not the only one who's a current victim. My former employer is exploiting the legal system to abuse others right now, all in the darkness, fully knowing that the fear and risks it takes to speak up. This kind of harassment at the hands of the powerful isn't just designed to financially ruin somebody, it's designed to cripple their soul. And I wasn't about to put my family on embarking upon a journey down that road. Number two, I was not about to allow the privacy of my personal life, the trust I have with my friends, and the real relationships I have with them to be violated in such an vindictive and abusive manner.
That's that. Good for you, by the way. He's like, no, I'm not going to fucking give you my messages with other people. Suck my cock. Suck my dick.
It simply was not going to happen.
What's the end result here, Crowder? What are you bullying him for? Because at best, right, you push him where he doesn't have any money, and then you win some sort of because that's all you get is financial loss. Like he doesn't go to jail, right?
Can I answer your question?
Yeah.
He's a nasty, gross, vindictive, homosexual psychopath.
No. Listen, obviously.
I just wanted to. Okay.
I thought that was a matter of record.
All right. I just thought maybe you
What I'm
forgot.
saying is, but his dad is a business person, and his father, who we think is pulling all the strings.
His dad's definitely in charge.
The problem is, if at the end of it you crush your former producer, and then there's going to be articles written everywhere that Crowder sued his producer for money, you're not going to come out looking good in this. You're not. You're better off dealing with the stupid potato videos.
So Royce, real quick. Go ahead, Virgie.
Go ahead. No, you first, buddy.
I was just gonna. Oh, you're so polite. I was gonna say, someone who does this level of NDA and suing and all that is someone who knows that person is right about everything that has ever been said about them, and he doesn't care if it looks bad that he wins a lawsuit suing the shit out of his producer because he won. In his head, he won. That's all that matters.
Yeah. This faggot doesn't care. People like Crowder die alone because they eventually just die alone because they literally end up with no friends. This man has no friends and no allies.
Let me add to what Pessy said. The reason why he's prepared to go to war and make himself look bad in court, because if Jared gets out from underneath of that fucking NDA, it's going to be fucking magnitudes worse than fucking the fallout from fucking he sued his producer.
Forever 2 Wheels goes, Jared left Lottery Crowder like 7 years ago. What the fuck? And that's what you're about to get into next year in this video. In a second, he brings up on how he can't even get another job because of how stringent this NDA is. He almost had one, and when he tried to get it, they sent him a letter saying, no, you can't. That would violate your NDA.
Wait, how is getting another job violating an NDA?
Because if it's of the same...
explains it.
He does explain... Well, here you'll see.
Latest article of legal harassment on Friday, March 22nd, 2024. After a month now of litigation exhausting even the court with relentless amendments to their Rule 202 petition, my ex-employer was finally awarded their request for my oral deposition and any document of communication with my friends that they believe may provide any avenue to sue me or others. As it stands, they await my forced cooperation.
Well, forced cooperation isn't really cooperation.
I will not. I will continue
tell
to
that
fight.
to the fucking tell that to everyone between 2020 and 2021.
Seriously.
Big question is, what was their entire reason for this harassment and the basis for their claims? These documents, an NDA. Some more context. I signed this separation agreement, an NDA, containing a strict and very broad non-disparagement clause many years ago. I voluntarily left my job after deciding I could no longer put myself or my growing family through the toxic and abusive work environment I had endured for years. This place was and is to this day a workplace rife with sexual misconduct, degeneracy, and aggression. The things I saw.
Gay sexual misconduct, by the way. Let's get specific about the misconduct.
And by the way, hey Crowder, you better start feeling a little nervous because a lot of judges have started to come out, federal and state judges, that have all agreed that NDAs are unenforceable when they're used to cover up sexual misconduct. So you're getting into a weird area there because they've already, the Weinstein shit, a lot of judges have ruled your NDA, if somebody's trying to touch your butthole, your NDA is unenforceable. That's not it. NDAs, like Roy said, are meant to connect, like protect like intellectual properties, trade secrets. You're not allowed to be like, he's working on an app, a social media app, and it's designed on this. Like, and then you go, all right, well, now you stole our shit.
But now what's happening is, I quote tweeted this video, and we're gonna play a little bit more. But right now, just in this part that I wanted to get to is you're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of people going like, you're jealous. It's a typical we're jealous. Fine, you could say we're jealous. When I'm jealous, I'm not jealous. I never wanted to be.
A little bit of his traps. He's got nice traps.
He has nice traps. I'm jealous of his workout routine. But now, but I didn't get a surgically enhanced chest, in the middle. But whatever, it's fine. I don't care about that. But the people that have been laughing at us, like because people have been, I retweeted the potato video, and people have been saying things like, that seems like a pretty chill work environment. And then I go, okay, yeah, except for you also have to deal with the dude's cock on your shoulder while you're working. And somebody was defending him by saying, yeah, man, me and my pals, we hang out, like, sometimes my dudes, like, put their balls on each other and blah, 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 like a frat house. I'm like, okay, maybe people do that. Maybe dude bros do that. I get it. But there's a difference when it's your boss doing it and they make you sign an NDA not to talk about it.
When you're a fucking 40-something-year-old dad...
Yeah.
Who goes to church and shit. Maybe that's not your cup. And also, again, it's different when it's your bros. It's another guy when it's just your boss.
That's exact difference.
All the things done to me and the things I witnessed my employer do to others were disgusting, shocking, and utterly indefensible. I have the receipts.
And that's what Crowder's afraid of.
This all took a serious toll on my personal health. To the point near the end of my tenure, the work environment had become so toxic that I had to be admitted into a heart hospital. And after many tests, I was ultimately put on anti-anxiety medication. This condition was something new to me. I had no history of it prior to my employment there and have never been treated for it since. Now, when I decided to resign, my wife was pregnant with our firstborn child.
And that's how you could tell it was bad. He left in the time.
Yeah, he left with a baby on the way. I remember that. We covered that.
And we're like, Jesus.
It was a terrifying position to be put in, but I absolutely knew that I could not be the husband or dad I was called to be for them in my current state. Something had to change. And if I couldn't change my work environment, then it was time for me to remove myself from it. I was fully aware that willfully resigning would mean I would forfeit any sort of severance. I trusted that God would provide. What I had not anticipated is how much it would cost me to quit. This is where my first experience with legal abuse began. Starting from the day I delivered my notice of resignation, I was put on the phone with company lawyers, and the good cop, bad cop coercion campaign to get my signature on an NDA was well underway. I was told many lies throughout this process. I immediately hired my own legal counsel, and by the grace of God, understanding my predicament, he even agreed to work for half of his normal rate. Even so, the legal fees immediately began to pile up. My former employer...
That's what happens to a lot of these, right-wing grifters that become very, very popular or make a lot of money. They immediately become the thing that they fight against, the stuff that they make fun of, the fucking divas. They become these weird divas. You know what I mean? Like, I can't ever think of myself even like in my wildest dreams, if like we fucking for some reason blow up and we make it, I can't ever think of myself of having somebody even getting my coffee. I'll get my own coffee, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it becomes a lifestyle thing for some of these people.
I can't say I wouldn't do like I'm with Royce on. I definitely wouldn't get out of control with it, but you can definitely go get my coffee. If you work here, you can definitely go get me a coffee.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well,
do
it's
that.
not. It's not even that. There's a difference between go get me a fucking coffee and the actual person loving their job and being like, hey man, do you need a coffee? Do you guys need a coffee? Can I get you a coffee?
Or how about like you just said, go get me a fucking coffee. How about this one, Pesty? And maybe I'm just fucking wild here. How about, hey, can you do me a favor when you're done with whatever you're doing? You mind grabbing me a coffee, dude? Because we're
How
about to set
fucking
up.
dare you? You fucking tyrant!
But you know what I mean?
Basically, like having a dick in my face.
I've been raped.
I have been a manager at enough restaurants, bars, etc. that I learned very early on why people like to work with me is there is a way to ask for things. You can either come in and be like, why isn't this done? Versus, hey, I know you're busy. We just got the liquor order. When you're done with that, though, can you just go out there and like clean off the tables?
Yeah.
It looks a wreck out there. And they're like, all right, yeah, no problem. That's all. And then everybody's nice and happy. Oh, by the way, when you're done with that, come in the office. I got to rub my dick on your shoulder.
I guess
And make me a potato.
I guess what I mean is that
I was waiting for the potato.
Also, rub your dick on the potato.
I guess what I mean is, I understand what you're saying. If it's like an intern or something, I get it. But he was having like his fucking like producers that are like that was just it's a weird like. You sign up for a job, right? Like the job listing, like you're going to be a producer, you're going to be producing a radio show, you're going to be doing this, and when you show up,
All right,
it's
what
like,
if I go get
take my dog out to poop?
All right, I would not do that. That is okay. That's where I would definitely draw a line.
Yeah.
How about this? Hear me out. We compromise. I'll go get my own coffee, but there's none made, and we're trying to set up for the show. Can you start a pot of coffee, and then I'll go get it myself? Is that okay?
Intern, make a pot of coffee. A producer, though.
Lewis has all his producers and interns running around making coffee and shit.
But that's different. He's fucking insane.
Yeah, I would probably be pretty insane, but not
Yeah.
Crowder insane.
Good call.
Again, Lewis is insane, but he's like, but what? Only one guy's quit in all the years they had like Yes Digital, because like
The rest are too scared
yeah, they're all.
because of his stringent NDA policy.
Don't tell him about the dick on the shoulder, doggy.
Are you kidding me?
I
Lewis
fuck.
would be
I've
on
like, bro, doggy. I fuck like half the females here. I don't want to get in trouble.
My favorite
it would
was
be
so like Lewis takes his staff to Jamaica every year, right? Like they're all chipping and they go on like a big trip to Jamaica, and like a bunch of fans were screaming at him one year about like, yeah, what about a bonus? Instead of like maybe they don't all want to go on a trip to Jamaica, and then a bunch of his employees were coming out going, well, no, we get a bonus.
Yeah, we also go to.
It's just also like we do a thing every year where it's like a team building thing. Like, you know, it's like it just backfired on the people trying to dunk on him.
And his attorney argued I could not work in media anywhere in the world. And most certainly not.
Well, and that's the other thing I'll say about Lewis. Lewis is one of the fucking nicest guys off camera. You know, even when he fucking screams at somebody, he'll immediately go, "Hey, doggy, sorry I screamed at you, bro. It's my bad, bro."
in the United States for
The
2
loudest
years.
I ever heard him yell one time was when there weren't donuts in the
This is
studio.
not because I involved.
Well,
Bro,
his
I
blood
have
sugar
never
was
seen
low.
a man. I have never seen a man be so nice and so merciless at the same time.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That actually describes Lewis very well.
Actually, the bagel thing was my favorite one.
Yeah.
The bagel thing is the funniest thing I've ever seen Lewis do off air. Was the
I remember
fucking
that.
when he was like when the
Uh,
bagels were
Oh,
all put
fuck.
away, and he came in in the morning and he goes, "Hey," and he grabs an intern. And he's like, "You understand how like psychology works, right? So
Yeah,
if you
no,
put a bunch
his
of bagels on a
exact line
table, oh, go ahead."
But his exact line was he grabbed the kid by the shoulder and he goes, "Let me teach you something about fucking psychology, dog."
Yeah, and then but he's like, if the bagels are in the thing and like everything's put away, nobody's gonna want to open it up and have a bagel. So why don't we, I don't know, pop the bitch open, spread some bagels out. We make a spread. Like, it was just like
From the day I delivered my notice of resignation. I was
Yo,
put on
and then
phone
the
with
intern
3
walked over
lawyers
to
and
me and Pessy and was like, "Please have a bagel, man, before he kills me."
Yeah, that was funny.
Can you guys please like sweating? Can you guys please just take a bagel?
Yeah.
Please take a bagel.
The intern was
and
really
Pessy
cool,
was
too.
like,
Yeah.
It's just
I
genetic.
was like, if I must.
Bro, those are some of the best bagels I've ever had in my
'cause of the
fucking
water,
life.
Bert.
Yeah, it's the
'Cause of the
water,
water.
because the water quality is really bad. We
Yeah,
pride
it's
ourselves
really-
on our terrible water quality, which makes the bagels crispy on the outside on account of all the DuPont chemicals.
Bad cop coercion campaign to get my
least the
signature
air's
on an
good.
NDA was well underway. I was told many lies throughout this process. I immediately hired my own legal counsel, and by the grace of God, understanding my predicament, he even agreed to work for half of his normal rate. Even so,
So he doesn't have a Jewish lawyer. That's not good.
the legal fees immediately began to pile up. My former employer and his attorney argued I could not work in media anywhere.
That's what I was saying. They said he couldn't work in media anywhere, and that's what he does.
That's a non-compete, and that's an unenforceable non-compete.
In the world, and most certainly not in the United States for 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Oh, that's still too long.
That's still too long.
That's still like not.
WWE has 90 days.
Yeah.
This
Wait
is not
for
because
it.
I had involuntarily signed some sort of non-compete in my original employment agreement. It was because they decided a non-solicitation clause that was in said original agreement would retroactively be interpreted as the broadest and strictest non-compete one could draft. It told me my Twitter account, another potential lifeline to future work, which I had owned and been the sole manager of since 2009, was to be turned over to them on the argument that it was somehow their intellectual property now.
Bro, this
Good
fucking
guy Crowder. It's your guys. This is a good guy Crowder stuff. He's a great guy. Somebody says, I don't care what Crowder does. I don't care about his personal life as long as he's spreading the message. I swear to Christ, somebody tweeted that to me.
Crowder's the kind of guy that I hope word gets
Yeah.
out about this. I hope everyone literally and I mean this like not as a figurative thing. I hope people literally want to beat his ass on sight. Like, I hope it gets to where he's afraid to show his face at some of these conservative things.
Presumably to keep me from working even further, my former employer even tried to claim my personal production equipment, gear I had owned for years prior to working there, as company property.
Dude.
After producing every receipt to validate my ownership, a vicious lie that I stole from the company was born and disseminated by my employer. By the way, breaking their side of this bogus mutual non-disparagement agreement. I have those receipts as well. All I simply wanted to do was peacefully leave. It was clear by my employer, though, that this was not only unacceptable, but that I needed to be punished for doing so.
Yeah. I
Being
think
bullied-
Crowder felt betrayed.
This is why I said it. Well, yeah, it's a woman thing. This
Yeah.
is what happens when
Yeah.
you're like, listen, I want to get a divorce. Look, you can have the house. We can work out something amicable for both of us. Like, you know what I mean? We'll work out joint custody of the kids. Like, we can, I want to do this amicably. And the woman's like, oh, really? You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm going to burn your shit to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
On each of these terms,
And
and
I think honestly too, dude, fucking Crowder knows deep down that fucking not gay Jared. That fucking
No.
stupid bitch.
I know what
Jared made this.
I know what you're
motherfucker.
about to fucking say, and we say it all the time. We've said it for many years. If you look at the old clips when it was getting that, Crowder was getting mad because Jared was getting more laughs. The only time Crowder was ever watchable, we've always said it on the show, was when Jared was there because he was like, oh, Jared's kind of funny. That's pretty much it. And he was getting bigger laughs than him, and we've seen him do it with not only with this. There's another reason that the Quarter Black Jared quote tweeted this, and he goes, you guys shielded me from a lot of stuff, but I want to know what the fuck this guy was doing. So there's a lot of people that are wondering what. It's not one producer. It's everybody that sits there. Remember his shut up light for Brian Callen that he had?
many more, fighting for my basic freedoms to leave and provide for my family.
God, if this
immediately
goes to trial, I hope a potato video makes the cut.
Yes.
sent me into legal debt. I did not want to sign anything, mind you. But the negotiations with my former employer left no question that without a signed
There's a reason Dave Landau isn't there anymore either. You want to go down the list?
And
of,
he's such a nice guy.
He's a nice
He is the nicest guy.
guy.
I love that bit.
Fucking Dave is such a nice guy.
NDA, my
Bye, Dave. Bye,
guaranteed
Dave.
silence, I would undoubtedly be harassed well into the future. No matter if there are future claims against me for
But I think what you said was right, Virgie. Betrayed. He's hurt because he thought that he was going to be with him forever and he's going to do whatever he said. But it's also like either you build loyalty or you make people sign aggressive NDAs. You kind of really can't do both. Do you know what I mean?
Can't have both.
You can't have both, really.
Where I worked or what I did or what I said were legitimate or not. It didn't matter. It would cost me thousands and thousands to fight back, and they knew that. I had to make a deal with nothing but a small savings account and my last paycheck. I had to accept the deal I could afford.
And that's why they do it, because you know that you're crushed financially and you have no fucking choice.
It's very important to note here that, where is it? It's here. I was not paid a single dollar for its consideration.
That's right. It wasn't a severance one.
Which brings me to what you might be asking next. What was the reason I did sign this? And again, as a man with his first child on the way, the small victory I got from it. The primary reason I signed the NDA was for a small carve-out in the non-compete clause, which allowed me to freely seek employment using some of my skill sets at another specific company. At least I could feed my family. That provision, however, was a lie.
Here's the part I was
Upon
saying.
starting my new job at the new said company, I was giving another one of these, a cease and
A cease and desist. After they carved out that he could work there in it, he started a job at a new company and they sent him a cease and desist.
desist. And
He's got a
was
kid,
promptly
bro.
unlawfully terminated from that position. I added thousands more to my legal debt trying to fight back. My wife was very pregnant by this time, and without a financial safety net for
Yeah, but the one thing we know about Crowder, he doesn't care about pregnant women. We've seen the video.
Oh no!
That's
in fact,
not gonna.
In fact, he actively abuses and hates them.
Right, right. Because they have what he'll never have, a uterus.
Yeah. Hey, Jared, has your wife tried putting the gloves on and putting the dog medicine
Has
on?
he tried being a wife worthy?
A wife worthy. Wood pellets, steaks, my grill.
Take an Uber.
for groceries and
Yeah,
a baby crib.
don't drive with your family, my pregnant wife. Get in some strange brown man's car.
Also, why are we rich and only have one car? That's strange.
Crowder is 100% going to have to address this because a bunch of people like former producers, Candace, a bunch of people pushing this. Dave Smith.
I can't wait to hear his cope and spin.
He's going to spin it to the boomers on how these young kids have no worth ethic. Watch. Hey, write it down. That's going to be the spin, that he took care of them, that he gave them more than anything, that he put himself in debt to take care of them. And yeah, he signed an NDA. Look, guys, it's a common practice. There's a lot of leftists out there that are going to want to use this equipment. Something like that. And then the young people have no worth ethic.
Can I make a backup guess? And
Sure.
This is my dark horse. I don't think this is going to happen, but this is my long shot. Right? Like if I was going to put a bet on it and get like a 2,500 to 1 payout, I'll say this is a coordinated attack by Big Con.
Even though he's Big Con.
Yeah, but remember, he stopped Big Con. He bought the website before he secretly recorded his best friend Jeremy Boring.
Oh yeah.
Much less a legal fund to file a countersuit. I simply had to let it go, trusting God had a plan.
God's plan. God's plan.
To that point, I want to say that I'm happy to report that he did have a plan, and what was intended for evil, God used for good. And it took me years to pay off my legal debt, but the story of God's faithfulness in my life became a very large part of my testimony, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunities that he gave me, and yeah, it's a story for another day, but back to this. While my supposed non-compete expired after 2 years, unfortunately, the most egregious part of my NDA, the part that silences my free speech, has no expiration. While NDAs are classically used to protect.
See, I'm gonna read something that I read. Remember, I said this earlier, and this person just came in, and this is the same tweet that I got that I made fun of this person. I'm gonna read something to you from in our chat room, Mersh, and I want you to try not to cringe. Ready? Crowder is irrelevant to the larger picture of how he's used to affect culture.
He doesn't affect culture. He makes content for the choir. He preaches to the choir. He's not reaching normies, you dumb faggot.
How he's used, huh? Okay, cool.
I'm so tired of this, man. You motherfuckers have been letting very, very low moral fucking scumbag grifters into your movements for years. on this like account of, but he's bringing in, he's changing the culture. What's changed about the culture? How have we moved the Overton window in the last 5 years? You dumb faggot.
Well, I'll tell you how, bud. I'll tell you exactly how they moved the culture.
It may not mean nothing to y'all.
No, please don't. Please don't.
So I don't plan on stopping it.
Look at this, guys. He's saving the culture.
It's all about the clicks and the mugs.
Boomers don't even understand this parody.
Hey, got Mud Club in the building. Ain't no
I don't know how you can do.
I only have good streams, big fame, big names. I get more clicks in one night than in your week's game.
Ugh.
You guys want something to palate cleanse that right quick?
I hope it's a fucking
somebody
12
says
gauge
somebody says
in my mouth.
That same guy says, I'm not pro Crowder. I'm against automatically accepting Jared. No, motherfucker. You're just new around here, and we've known Jared a very, very fucking long time, and we've been covering this for a very, very long time.
No, that's good. He's not new around here, but he is retarded.
You're retarded. This is a pattern of behavior. This is a
idiot.
fucking pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
All you culture warriors are retarded. The culture war was lost like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You're out here still fucking doing what? Here's what happens with all these culture warriors. Look at our show, how they're being used. They're being used, all right, by fucking Mossad and the CIA. They're not acting because all of these. This is what always ends. This is what happens with all of these people. They pretend to be friends, and now Candace Owens getting fired from Daily Wire. Daily Wire's fighting with Crowder. Crowder's fighting with the Blaze. The Blaze is fighting with this. All of them are fighting with each other.
And they're all making money off of you fucking marks. Because that's what you are. You're marks. And this is all just this is all kayfabe. You're all marks. Life is a work. And stop with this, like, we're on the same team shit. You know what you sound like? You sound like one of the motherfuckers from 6 years ago that was like, here's how Bernie can still win.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Fucking stop. Fucking cut it out. This is what really happens. All these people get money, they get fucking big, and they become exactly the thing that they were fighting against. All of them. And also, just like Bernie Sanders, they end up buying 2 vacation homes.
Secrets.
And an Audi.
Unfortunately, in the
And an Audi.
entertainment industry, they are too often
But their wife still has the Uber, which is weird.
It's
used to
strange.
protect disgusting, unlawful activity in many forms of abuse. We see examples of this all the time. Powerful people and their attorneys routinely use NDAs to silence victims in order to remain powerful people. Free speech matters. Matters a lot to me, and that's not just a t-shirt slogan. It really matters. And these kinds of NDAs right here, coming from this, are unquestionably unconstitutional. I will not live with the burden of this unconstitutional NDA over my head for the rest of my life, especially when information I have can be used to aid other.
How do you think he feels? The NDA he signed had to be harder than everybody else's because fucking the other Jared and Dave Landau were able to get another show in the Blaze immediately after they left. It wasn't 2 years. They fucked him, bro. They fucked him hard.
Well, honestly, the reason the other ones haven't had to sign that shit is because they probably know deep down that this shit's unenforceable.
Yeah.
And they probably tweaked their future NDAs to be like, all right, man, we got to make these a little bit more enforceable.
Situations,
There
which
is
the
one thing
con-
harder than Jared's NDA, and that was Crowder's dick when he was drafting them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
text
Man,
for
that
which
was a
this
good
former
one.
employer feels they caught me breaking my agreement. Let me be clear, what I'm afraid of is legal harassment in perpetuity, not the truth. Only one side of this ordeal is spending a fortune to hide truth and punish anyone who dares speak up for themselves or other victims. While I will not give in to the harassment by my former employer, I have to recognize that this process has already become unbearably expensive. Not only because of the general expense of the legal process, but because my former employer has seemingly unlimited wealth and resources to gleefully spend punishing powerless
Keep buying his mugs.
people. I tried to handle the legal fees on my own these last months, and the fees have already reached the tens of thousands of dollars with no resolution in sight. Unstopped, this type of legal abuse could go on for years and years and quickly escalate into hundreds of thousands of dollars as I fight to protect myself and my family.
Boo Brancher's right. Getting a divorce is easier than leaving Ladder with Crowder.
Dude, for real? Well, no, because his wife's also having a hell of a time getting away
Good
from
point.
him.
The second
Good point.
reason I'm asking for financial assistance, though, assistance is to proactively address my unconstitutional anti-free speech NDA, which is the basis for all of their claims against me. The simplest resolution here would be for my ex-employer to release me from the NDA.
If he was smart, that would be exactly what he would do. But as Merce pointed out earlier,
You can't help yourself.
he's a vindictive little shit.
Yeah. Some people are just pathologically wired a certain way, and you can't help himself.
Yeah.
Give me and my fellow ex-employees the same free speech they publicly champion for every other.
Who's bringing up the wife? Well, I mean, I'll bring up the wife. His wife retweeted this. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
She did. So there you
Yeah,
go.
she did.
I brought it up in context.
American. But I can almost guarantee you that will not happen. I've already witnessed them spend unfathomable amounts of money in other cases to protect their double life and secrets.
And also, this fighting the culture war, his biggest fan base is boomers. You know? So, like, what culture war? They're not doing anything. And by the way, if you want to help him, he did start a GoFundMe. It's at, let's see, he's asking for $100,000. And
already halfway
He's
there.
always he's halfway there. So there's a link. There you go. It was
Good for him.
GoFundMe. Yeah, go do it. Go give him some money. Pass it up over 100,000 because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to squash dissent like a fucking good little dictator, right, Crowder? You good little dictator. You're gonna fucking tell everyone to shut up. I mean, honestly, why are you still pushing an NDA on somebody? There's no trade secrets at this point after 7 years. What is it? Like Merce says, what are you so worried about him saying?
You still got some song parodies you wrote back then that you haven't put out yet?
Yeah, no, seriously. Is there one about Biden, like, you know, at the tune of Disco Duck or something like that? I don't know.
Disco
I
Duck.
don't know what he does.